Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Monday, February 23rd. Coming up on Cullman Today, Cullman police say an arrest is made after a stabbing behind Publix. Plus, Cullman County is moving water and sanitation billing in-house after Cullman Electric says it will stop handling the billing. And Cullman County Sheriff Matt Gentry is calling for a public rate hearing, saying Alabamians want answers and relief from rising power bills. All this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. Cullman police say an arrest has been made in connection with a stabbing that happened Saturday behind Publix at the Cullman Shopping Center. Police arrested Michael Hellring of Hanahan, South Carolina, and charged him with attempted murder. Investigators say the victim's name is not being released at this time. Officers and investigators responded to the scene and initially detained 2 people as the investigation got underway. Police say the victim was airlifted to a regional hospital for treatment. Cullman police say the incident is believed to be isolated, and they continue to work to determine what led up to the stabbing. Chief Joey Duncan credited patrol officers, investigators, the Cullman County Sheriff's Office, and District Attorney Champ Crocker for a quick response that led to the arrest. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Cullman Police Department at 256-734-1434. Cullman County is preparing to bring its water and sanitation billing operations in-house after Cullman Electric Cooperative notified officials it plans to discontinue billing services later this year. County leaders say Cullman Electric approached them in July of 2025 about ending its long-standing role billing water and sanitation customers. That prompted the county to evaluate new software providers and long-term costs with the goal of handling billing internally. After reviewing proposals, the county selected CNI Solutions, a Cullman-based company that provides utility billing software for utilities across Alabama and other states. For a simple cost comparison, county records show the old billing setup cost about $567,000 a year. Under the new system, the county estimates it will cost about $105,000 in the first year, with roughly $460,000 in savings. County officials note the final numbers could change once a separate payment processing agreement is completed. Officials say water and sanitation service will continue uninterrupted, and customers will receive bills through a new system once the transition is finished. The county expects the switch to be completed by June 1st. Cullman County Sheriff Matt Gentry, a Republican candidate for the Alabama Public Service Commission, Place 1, is calling for a public rate hearing to address rising utility costs across the state. In a statement released February 20th, Gentry said he's heard the same concern while meeting with residents, consumers, farmers, and small business owners across Alabama. They want transparency, they want answers, and they want relief from high power bills. Gentry said families are being squeezed by rising utility costs and deserve the chance to be heard in a full open rate hearing. He pledged that if elected, he will push for a public rate hearing as his first order of business. Gentry also said he opposes efforts to change the Public Service Commission from an elected body to one appointed by political leaders, arguing the agency should remain accountable to voters. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up, Wallace State sweeps Southern Union. Can they do it again tonight at Shelton State? Sports is next. Welcome back. While our local high school teams were burning up the court at Wallace State last week at the regional tournament, the Wallace State basketball teams were in Wadley, where they picked up a road sweep at Southern Union, with the Lions outlasting the Bison 93-89 and the Lady Lions rolling 69-43. In the men's win, Jaden Rush scored 22 points and Trey Knight poured in 21 with 10 assists and 7 rebounds as Wallace State survived a back-and-forth game with 10 lead changes. Xavius Madden controlled the paint with 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks. The Lions won the possession battle, out-rebounding Southern Union 40-28 and forcing 15 turnovers. On the women's side, Wallace State's defense set the tone early and never let up. Idasia Mercer led all scorers with 22 points, while Cameron Sanders added 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. Zamira Good dominated the glass with 14 rebounds as the Lady Lions finished with a 44-26 rebounding edge and held Southern Union to 30% shooting. Next up, Wallace State visits Shelton State tonight. The Lady Lions play at 5:30, followed by the Lions at 7:30. And that wraps up sports for today. Coming up next, nominations are open for the Alabama Senior Citizens Hall of Fame. Plus, Redstone Federal Credit Union opens its new Cullman branch, and its Acts of Brightness crew is showing up to pay for gas, groceries, and more. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Cullman City Primary School students recently learned how different materials can glow in the dark during a hands-on STEM lesson on phosphorescence. Kindergarten through 2nd grade students made Valentine's Day cards using highlighters, colored inks, and invisible ink, then tested their designs under different lighting to compare glow effects and see which material shined brightest. The project was funded through an Operation Roundup grant and reinforced early science skills like making predictions, observing outcomes, and using visual evidence to explain results. Teachers also expanded the discussion to bioluminescence and how some living organisms produce light. A surprise moment added even more excitement. Some students noticed pieces of their clothing glowed under the light source, prompting them to examine fabrics and colors, compare findings, and ask new questions like young scientists. The Alabama Department of Senior Services is accepting nominations for the 2026 Alabama Senior Citizens Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame recognizes Alabamians aged 60 and older for outstanding service and contributions that improve the lives of older adults in their local communities. Each year, the program also honors married couples celebrating 65 years of marriage or more, along with individuals who are 100 years old or older. Anyone interested in nominating someone for induction or submitting a name for recognition can complete the forms online at alabamaageline.gov. The deadline for nominations and submissions is May 1st. Inductees and award winners will be announced in August. The Alabama Senior Citizens Hall of Fame has recognized seniors across the state since 1983. For more information, visit alabamaageline.gov. Redstone Federal Credit Union is celebrating its 75th anniversary and recently opened its newest Cullman branch at 1202 2nd Avenue Northwest on Highway 31. The grand opening was held February 12th and drew a large turnout. Redstone is also running an Acts of Brightness campaign through November. The credit union says the effort is meant to ease everyday burdens by surprising people while they handle essential needs. Redstone's brightness crew visits locations without announcing them ahead of time, then steps in to cover expenses like groceries, gas, and utility bills. On February 20th, the group made stops in Cullman at the Shell station on 2nd Avenue Southwest and Warehouse Discount Groceries in the Town Square Shopping Center. Redstone says the crew paid for customers' purchases and even pitched in to help shoppers and store staff as the day went on. Cullman County's Alabama Extension Office says North Alabama producers now have access to the Small Farm Equipment Rental Program known as OG Help. To help farmers learn how it works, Extension is hosting a hands-on demo day as part of the March Military Veteran and Beginning Farmer Workshop at the North Alabama Agriplex. The demo day is set for Thursday, March 12th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Wallace State Horticulture Complex. Organizers say the training is for anyone interested in renting equipment through the program, and it's designed to show what's available and how to get started. The event is free, but registration is requested. To sign up, visit aces.edu/go/demo day. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who lost their lives this week. Shirley Beasley, 71, of Cullman, passed away Friday, February 20th. Visitation will be today from 5 to 7 p.m. at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home Chapel. She will lie in state Tuesday, February 24th from 10 a.m. till noon at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home Chapel. Funeral service will follow at noon. Graveside service will be at Cullman Memory Gardens. James Timothy Scott, 60, of Cullman, passed away Friday, February 20th. Graveside service will be Wednesday, February 25th at 11 a.m. at Cullman City Cemetery with burial at Cullman City Cemetery. Gary Leon Warden, 78, of Cullman, passed away Saturday, February 21st. Visitation will be Friday, February 27th from noon to 1 p.m. at Cullman Funeral Home Chapel, followed by funeral service at 1 p.m. Interment will be at Valhalla Memory Gardens. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now let's take a look at your weather forecast. Today will start partly sunny, then will brighten up to mostly sunny this afternoon with a high near 39. It's going to feel colder than that at times with wind chills down in the teens and a north-northwest breeze at 5 to 10 with a few gusts up to about 25. Tonight we're clear and cold, low around 18. Winds go light and even calm later. Tomorrow looks much better, mostly sunny with a high near 52. We'll start the morning chilly, then a light south-southwest breeze picks up around 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Tuesday night turns mostly cloudy with a low around 38 and a few gusts possible. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a wonderful day, Cullman.